The human brain possesses a hardwired biological defense mechanism that activates the moment it detects a sales pitch. This primitive alarm system is designed to protect our time and resources from perceived manipulation. Detection triggers immediate physical reactions, neurological stress spikes, leading to rapid-fire defensive behaviors, hung-up phones, avoided eye contact, and locked doors. This dynamic created the historical archetype of the field salesperson. Succeeding here requires navigating a landscape where the default human response is instinctive rejection. However, the top 1% of communicators consistently bypass these biological alarms. They build trust with a speed that seems to ignore these neurological defenses entirely. This elite level of influence relies on a fluency in hidden microbehaviors. These are tiny, calculated adjustments, in body and voice, that signal safety before the prospect's conscious mind can form an objection. Establishing influence begins with physics. The brain's first layer of defense assesses physical threats within milliseconds of a stranger's approach, looking for signs of aggression in their stance. The duck stance neutralizes this threat. Turning the feet outward and angling away disrupts the geometry of confrontation. This safety signal is reinforced by occupying the hands with a prop. Visible, occupied hands provide a subconscious cue of nonviolence, lowering the prospect's guard. Communicators also use a technique called the perch. By casually leaning against a wall or railing, the speaker signals a state of total relaxation. Because humans naturally mirror the physical state of those they interact with, these adjustments lead the prospect into a state of physiological safety. They feel comfortable because the communicator appears comfortable. Once physical safety is established, the voice becomes the primary driver of trust. At this stage, how a message is delivered carries significantly more weight than the actual words. Research from the Wharton School indicates that in telephone and doorstep communications, over 80% of a message's impact is dictated by tone. The auditory cues provide the listener with a map of the speaker's emotional state. Standard articulation averages 5.22 syllables per second. Slowing to 4.63 generates deep empathy. Paired with a conversational pace of 110 to 125 words per minute, this mimics a casual, non-threatening conversation. Conversely, a fast talker peaking at 500 words per minute triggers immediate suspicion. Professional projection from the diaphragm is also required to lower vocal pitch. A deeper, resonant tone conveys grounded authority and reduces the high-pitched auditory signatures of nervousness. By modulating these vocal metrics, a speaker can generate the acoustic signatures of a trusted friend, effectively bypassing the brain's remaining auditory defenses. With the biological and auditory defenses bypassed, the speaker must engage the cognitive brain. This requires navigating the prospect's logic without triggering a new wave of resistance. Top communicators use open-ended questions to shift the dynamic. By asking the prospect to describe their specific needs and pains, they lead the buyer to narrate their own path toward a solution. This tactic leverages loss aversion, the psychological principle that people are twice as motivated to avoid a loss as they are to achieve a gain. Framing a solution as a way to stop an existing pain is significantly more effective than highlighting potential benefits. This allows the speaker to assume the role of a trusted advisor. Instead of pushing against the buyer's logic, they provide the missing data needed to resolve the prospect's internal doubts. This alignment addresses the mental discomfort of holding conflicting beliefs, often called cognitive dissonance. Treating the conversation as a shared project neutralizes the final wall of resistance. The core psychological mechanism of influence is the resolution of uncertainty. In every high-stakes interaction, a highly certain speaker provides direction to a buyer who lacks it. Once safety and trust are established, the communicator's internal certainty can be implanted into the mind of the listener. This is the transfer of conviction, the moment the seller's certainty becomes the buyer's new reality. Even with these skills, master communicators operate under the law of averages. In this numbers game, a high volume of no responses is the mathematical requirement for reaching a single yes. These rejections serve as data points. Every failure provides an opportunity to refine vocal modulation and body language for the next door. These tactics apply to every area of life, from professional project pitches to navigating personal disagreements. Maya Angelou noted that while words and actions may be forgotten, the way a person made you feel is permanent. Mastering the invisible language of influence allows for a complete alignment with human nature. By respecting the biological and psychological rules of safety, a communicator can lead others toward a decision through clarity rather than conflict.